Next, we are going to go into our gubernatorial candidates now, and we'd like to welcome to the mic Paul Morgan.
All right.
All right.
Go get it.
All right now. Good job.
Go get it, man.
This here?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Aloha. My name is Paul Morgan, and I want to thank Mr. Titus for being here. And just last week, we were invited over to an event, 4 Hour Rights, by Miss Lavana Loma. And I started to take off because there's so many issues in the state, and people want to hear the answers. But he slowed me down on purpose to say, who are you? Who are you first? Who are you? I'm getting chicken skin just thinking about that right now. So my name is Paul Morgan. I was born and raised in Mississippi to a single mother at 17 years old. My sister's 10 months younger. She told me as a child that I could be whatever I wanted to be. I just had to be willing to work hard for it, and to not ask anybody for help if I hadn't done my best first. So I took that to heart and mind, and that afforded me an opportunity to go to Vanderbilt University and to play college football. I led it 4 years, and it helped me get on path to what I wanted to be in this world. My major was human and organizational development, and that's just simply systems and processes, making them more efficient in order to scale the best practices only. That's what and it takes a tremendous amount of mental energy to get to that point where you have systems that actually work like a chain on a bike. So I moved to Hawaii in 2013, and as a child, that's 6 years old, watching Martin Luther King and Barry Sanders and Walter Payton. I knew I wanted to be a pro football player, and I wanted to help people like that man, like Martin Luther King Jr. When he's sharing that speech, I have a dream. And a lot of you know or have an idea of what it's like in Mississippi. When I arrived in Hawaii in 2013, I was presenting myself as an offering to be here because I did my best to do a lot of homework before I got here. And I was at Naleo. It's a public access TV station on the Big Island, and I had a TV show, and my background was government contracting, and I wanted to help small minority and veteran woman-owned businesses you can't commercialize it, but I could share their stories. And that's what I did. I went around to a lot of small businesses, coffee farmers, tour bus drivers, companies, wedding, you name it, and just going around just sharing their stories. And one day I was in that studio, and those ladies said, you need to go coach football at our school, because we got into talking about football. And I asked, where's your school? And they said, Kamehameha School's Keau. And I asked, when do I go? And they said, go now. So I drove and went out to the school, called the athletic director on my way there, and he forwarded me to his head football coach, who was Dan Lyons, and Dan didn't answer the phone, went to his voicemail. I'm at the gate at that point, so I'm turning around, headed back into town. Dan calls me, says, are you still around? I turn right back around and go out, and Dan and I talked for 3 hours. And he said, I want you on my team. And I said, I want to be on your team. So first year coaching football at Kamehameha Schools, all 5 receivers were first team Biff. And then I had this brother on the team, Manly Kanoa, 6'5", 300, who knows how much Manly really weighs. But he was a football player from UH Manoa, June Jones years. And he looked at me and said, bruh, you don't need permission. Because I was still asking for permission to be here. And then my brother BJ Penn says, brother, you born and raised, your kids are born and raised here, you're from here, you Hawaiian. My campaign chairwoman is a Hawaiian woman from Waimea. And she's brought her family to my campaign, and her sister's our scheduler. My fiance and they flew over for the week to be with me on the Oahu. I'm just over here for a 6-hour trip, and I go back and be with them because this is so important to me that I'm part of the change that I want to see in Hawaii. So we've created our Hawaii First Economic Recovery Plan. And I see Lynn's website is also Hawaii First. And I'm going to encourage everybody, if you put your website up, to put Hawaii First. And from there, it breaks down to had the masks not been removed, that's a part of our platform in the first 100 days. To reverse those mandates, to rehire people who lost their jobs because they were forced vaccinated, and to consider all treatment options, including natural immunity. I have it too. Natural immunity, that's what I'm talking about. And then opening our government to just more than just transparency, to the people, to have access to the governor on down. It's for and by the people. And then bringing in the opportunity to help small businesses grow, because they are truly the backbone for the state of Hawaii. That southern drawl gets in the way sometime. I promise y'all it's not on purpose. But with that consideration, repurposing funding from Hawaii Tourism Authority, and as part of our platform, when we go out and we have campaign events, we host what's called Hawaii Made, which we encourage small businesses from Hawaii to come in so we can help shore up their systems and processes, because that's my background. So we can eventually export Hawaii's businesses and import that income and revenue and technical assistance to Hawaii. My name is Paul Morgan. I'm running for governor of Hawaii because I truly care. I truly care about what's happening in the state, and ultimately, as the only outsider who's not born in Hawaii, I'm the one who will end corruption. My background is law enforcement as well. Worked in the prison, worked in child protective service, juvenile probation, and people are already handing us files of lawsuits and files of names of people who shouldn't be in public office, who should be doing the things for people on people's behalves. So I want to open it up for questions, but my campaign chairwoman would say you should have asked. I want to ask everyone, if you have your cell phone, to go to our website, Paul Morgan for Governor, and give us a contribution so we can get across the state. Also, to volunteer to be a part of our campaign as a volunteer. Do we have any questions? Yes.
What are you going to do to stop the abuse of power that's occurred over the last couple of years with these COVID mandates?
So I started into that, which is our Hawaii First Economic Recovery Plan, which is about reversing the mandates, rehiring those employees, and then just for the sake of a sustainable Hawaii consistency, is to consider what's coming next, so we can create an industry around those things. The Health and Human Services Department, the CDCs, all this. There's so many things that's coming down the pipe. I would like for Hawaii, with Hawaii's entrepreneurs, woman-owned businesses, small businesses, veteran-owned businesses, Native Hawaiian-owned businesses, to be out front, to be a part of creating a sustainable Hawaii. But as far as more detailed things about what happens, as a part of the government, we have access to that emergency power, so we can reverse a lot of things. And eventually, people who have voices joining up, signing up to run for Senate, to run for House positions, because we can only utilize so much executive power before it actually turns over to the Senate and the House. But if it's not in the best interest of Hawaii, it doesn't cause people to think they're going to lose their jobs, and it's not putting Hawaii first, I will veto all those things. So having those conversations with Mr. Titus, with Lavana Loma, with a few other people who have their own solutions to it, we have to build a cabinet of up to 20 people, deputy and director heads of 54, 170 boards and commissions that the governor gets to appoint and approve. I just had one lady say what she wants when I get into office, and she wants to help with Kauai, be the liaison. So I'm asking everyone to join us, Paul Morgan for Governor. Did I answer your question, or we can talk online?
I think that I was a little more concerned about that these powers never happen again. These powers that are being given to the governor, where he can just endlessly go on. You know, I was involved in the lawsuit where it clearly says 60 days it's over. Well, this is a problem because the courts have allowed it to go on. So my real question is, how are we going to end this so this doesn't happen again with the next guy?
So a part of the brainstorming, and some people who know better, is as an executive order, I believe you can use an executive order to end an executive order that says it sunsets once I leave the office.
Okay, we're going to have to go for that. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
And next up, we have
Hey.
Lynn Mario.
First time. Good to see you. We'll talk. She's introduced you.
Hello, Lynn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Aloha kako. I'm going to lower this because then you can see me better.